Welcome back to Close Encounters of the Tech Kind. I'm John. We're having a conversation today about all things tech, where it affects us, where it affects you, the viewers, and get our hot takes on these things. We got some good hot takes coming. With me today, I've got Mike.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
We wouldn't be a party without Jackson.
Howdy do.
And then Artie's running the show behind the scenes, so say hi to him.
Okay, hi to him.
There you go. I was glad that happened that way. So, getting into this, some of our headlines we're going to talk about. We'll bounce around from here to there, but the main topics are Internet of Things and what has been happening in the last week or two. Seen some posts from some people, and Louis Rossman got a pretty hot take going on one of his videos recently. Grok has been doing things, and we're not going to talk about the spiciest of things. We'll talk about the companions of things. And then, speaking of AI, we're just going to jump right into the new terms of service that YouTube is rolling out to protect us from our future evil robot overlords. So, are we delaying the inevitable, or are we just like putting an end to this? I don't know.
Usually we hate the terms of service updates, but this one is actually pretty good, I think.
I think it's going to be hated by a bunch of the content mills.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to get into it.
Well, let's get into it. I think that's got our hot button right now.
Mm-hmm.
What's the new terms of service there?
All right. I've got it pulled up here. This is coming from TechCrunch, actually. And they haven't actually done it, but they have announced that they're preparing to, and they've kind of already said what it is that they're going to do. They're going to be updating their policies over the YouTube Partner Program, the YPP, monetization policies with more detailed guidelines around what kind of content can actually be monetized. And the biggest thing is creators have always been required to upload original and authentic content. Now, the new language that they're going to be adding is going to define what inauthentic content looks like. So, with all that said, sounds like a minor change. They're just, making things more clear. But what it seems like they're doing is they're going to be using these new terms and these new policies to crack down on AI-generated videos and just regurgitated content, which I think Mike looks like he's very happy about.
Yay. I don't know about anybody else, but that's a win for me.
How many times have you seen the same video narrated by 17 different voices?
No, and actually the one I'm also getting really sick of, I just saw one yesterday, I think, a short, like some kind of an amusement ride, and then just totally going off the rails and falling apart, like, oh, tragic thing, all these people, like, and it's like I watch it and I'm like, it's AI, because as realistic as some of these are, there's just the little details that if you watch closely enough, it's like, okay, that guy just totally disappeared. Nothing touched him. He just was there and then he wasn't. Like, it's AI, And it's just driving me nuts because they're trying to capture, like, it's a sensationalized event, because everybody wants to be the guy that caught it on camera, and it's totally fake. It's not worth anybody's time.
And I think it's getting really hard to tell with some of those low quality ones too, because sometimes I don't know if it's the AI if they give it specific instructions like make it look low quality, or if they later do some editing to make it look like it's low quality. But as soon as you get rid of some of those details, because I think you actually can tell if something's AI generated in the details, but as soon as you start removing those details, you just can't tell if it was recorded on.
Blur the lines a little bit. Yeah.
So
does it have anything to do with people who it's those videos that go for like a full 5 minutes and you're like, just get to it. Like I'm about to open the box, and then, like, they come around the box like from 8 different angles, and they start to open it. And it's like, no, let's actually turn the box this way. No, actually, let me go get a pair of scissors so I can. And it's like, just open the stupid box. Like, I'm really thinking that I think it should apply to those people too.
I think so too. I mean,
it doesn't.
I would love AI to be like obviously AI.
Yeah.
You know, if it's trying to imitate reality and then pass itself off as a real event, that's bad juju. Like, let's make that stop.
Yeah, so to answer your question, Mike, it doesn't look like that encapsulates any content like that, because I think they would still consider that original content, right? And that's
Right.
what
It
they're
is.
getting at.
It is.
It's
And
just bad original
I can
content.
always skip to the end. That's what the scrub bar's for, skip to the end.
Yeah.
But I think I
And
heard you say something about reaction
so I think
content.
I said something in the pre-show. I think I told you wrong, actually. Now they're interviewing somebody that is how they're getting this information. I'm trying to find what his name is. I think his last name is Richie. I'm not seeing it here. Anyway, the person that they were interviewing had said that, I mean, they expressed concern. Well, there's a lot of people that make a lot of money doing reaction-based videos, which I also hate and almost kind of wish this was part of it, to an extent, when they literally just don't add anything, and you can tell they're just talking just so they can fulfill the YouTube requirement of being original. Anyway.
I got it. There was one where a guy streamed a UFC fight.
Yeah.
And he had a picture of himself with a controller playing.
I remember that. That was he was like
not a
going to Hall of
reaction,
Fame for that.
Yeah, that was I tip my hat to his originality.
It was original.
No, the thing that I hate, I hate this more than anything, is when someone's doing a reaction video and like there's nothing really going on in the video, but they still have to keep talking just so they can, be falling underneath. Yes. And so it's like, oh, what's he doing? He's grabbing the box. I'm like, I see that. But anyway, long story short, this doesn't affect that. It sounds like,
Okay.
as per the interviewee was saying.
So this might affect
the
big one that comes to mind for me are the fake America's Got Talent videos where it's obviously 3D rendered and they put on some sob story, and you've got like a little 5-year-old that's been taking care of her baby sister. Anyways, stuff like that.
That could almost be original. What I'm thinking is this is aiming towards you take somebody's video and narrate over the top of it with a badly spoken AI voice just for the views.
Because you could pretty much automate that creation.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Rip somebody's video, edit it down to a minute or so, and then put a narration on top of it. That's also just AI generated.
It might cover all of it. I mean, we're already required to state whether or not we have AI generation in anything that we upload to YouTube. So this might be another step forward in that.
Reviewed by AI.
I've just got the Spider-Man meme of 2 AIs pointing at each other.
You're the fake one.
Well, John, you kind of gave that example of the whole like Mythbusters thing, right? What was that all about?
Yeah, so I've seen some brilliant shorts. Like we've all seen Mythbusters, and it takes them an hour to tell 3 different stories. Well, somebody has been condensing those down to 1-minute shorts. So it presents the problem, presents the work towards the solution, and then answers: is it a plausible? Is it confirmed? Or is it bust? They answer it in 1 minute. And then after those things started getting popular, I saw some shorts pop up that were AI narrated on top of that short, like video copy 1 for 1. but it's now narrated by AI, and not well either. Like they're mispronouncing stuff. It's like if you're
I'm
gonna
waiting for the one that narrates talking about the narration of the video. Like,
Well, and it's exactly all of that. And they've actually coined the phrase, and I think you've all heard it now. It's the AI slop, right? I mean, that is
Yeah.
what it is. It's just slop. And so I think that's directly what YouTube's trying to address here, which is a win for everybody except for those who are making money off of it. But the other thing that I
they
think
shouldn't be making
is,
money off of it.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
view time that takes away from the genuine creators, which is annoying.
And it's
Well,
also
and
taking up valuable space on their servers.
yeah, and never mind the whole concept of copyright and fair use and all that. I mean, I know that in some realms of copyright, that as long as you either show some significant addition or modification that's more than a certain percentage of the original content, or that you're not using any more than certain amounts of clips, keeping it to under like maybe a couple seconds or 3 seconds of a clip, just to prove a point
Yeah.
in your analysis or whatever it is, you know, but you've got these people that are outright just using entire clips that have already been uploaded somewhere else on somebody else's YouTube channel. And now just because they have a voiceover, that makes it their own and they get to be monetized for it. Like that just doesn't seem right with me. And content creators, I'm sure, have been yelling about this for a long time that, hey, I originally came up with that. I should be getting a piece of that action because it's mostly my work that's driving the viewers there
Mhm.
and everything.
well, here's a huge one that I'm surprised is still up and going. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but I feel like kind of started with somebody had the idea whenever VO3 came out, which we talked about several weeks ago when VO3 from Google kind of hit the tarmac. There was somebody who had the idea of making vlogs from the point of view of Bigfoot. And so they just had AI generate a Bigfoot recording a vlog. And they're pretty funny. That whoever was writing was pretty creative and was making Bigfoot do random things. And then so I mean it was funny, it was great. But then I just this is recently I started seeing now there's stormtrooper vlogs. And I
Those are
think
hilarious.
which are also very funny, but I think they're making their content and money off of Star Wars, which is Disney's like they own that. And so
Yeah, the
I'm
trademarks and
surprised they're
everything.
still up. I'm surprised they're still like I just checked on YouTube and I mean like yeah, they have 44,000 subscribers. Any one of their videos has anywhere from like 74,000 views to 658,000, almost a million. And so they're making a lot of money off of an image that is Disney's. And so and then again there's also Spider-Man. I'm seeing Spider-Man up here. So I think there's a lot of lawsuits that are in the works or coming up for creators who are doing this. And so I think that these new terms of service from YouTube will actually I assume it'll also affect these guys as well.
Well, and what an interesting time we live in where everything, every case law, every precedent is up for review again because people are pushing the envelope and saying, well, it's transformative because there was no actual stormtroopers harmed in the making of this video. It's like I could see where the artist is saying, I just typed it in. Google gave me something. Google should be protecting that intellectual property. It didn't. Therefore, I'm assuming it's free and fair use. I mean, it's an interesting time we live in. And it's going to move very fast.
Mhm.
And
I mean, are
I
they
worry about-
actual Star Wars stormtroopers or are they like guys dressed in white colored body armor with
No,
white,
it's
black and white helmets.
stormtroopers.
You know what I'm saying? It's
And
like you
stormtroopers
could,
and Darth Vader, and they call each
yeah,
other, "Oh, look, it's
okay.
Darth Vader," and we're stormtroopers. So it's
Well,
very
okay, there you go.
obvious.
Rocking that
Yeah,
cape.
it's not a look-alike. It's like I am Spider-Man, or that's
Yep.
Darth
Right.
Vader. So it's very obvious, and it's funny because it stemmed from the whole Bigfoot vlogs. I think was really the first. That was the first ones that I started seeing, and were pretty funny. And the stormtrooper ones are also very funny, but it's not original content
Does somebody own
in
Bigfoot?
that sense. What's that?
Does
Yeah,
somebody own Bigfoot?
The Illuminati
Bigfoot
owns
might be
Bigfoot.
safe. What's up?
The Illuminati owns Bigfoot.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't
then.
think anybody's owned Bigfoot yet. He's still the master at hide and seek,
hmm
reigning champion. Although I think Loch Ness Monster precedes Bigfoot's discovery and appearances, right?
No, there have been like Yeti and Sasquatch type things through like early human history. I mean, we've always had cryptids, we've always had things like that.
Okay,
Loch
so
Ness,
Bigfoot's the first.
not necessarily the first, but probably the most famous, because almost every culture has a version of him.
Let's ask GPT.
I
Actually,
mean,
I want to shift the conversation a little bit and talk about GPT and some of the studies that just came out. Lots of Ivy League schools are checking into this, and some of them just recently published. Did you know GPT is killing our cognitive abilities as a society?
I've heard this.
doesn't surprise me.
It's like if you sit down and do research, Jackson, let's say you're working on a circuit, you're doing the research, you would need to understand what a capacitor is, what a resistor is, what's the load of an LED. If you ask GPT, it does the math for you. You don't gain that true understanding of what it is you're building.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know how to build it, and you could probably do it again, but you don't understand what you're building. So think of it this way. You become the large language model trained by GPT because you have no thought.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I have to watch myself as well, like, because I'm doing my own projects and I ran into this literally this week. I wanted to make a wireless Bluetooth audio adapter for a sound system I have. So I was going to use an ESP32 with a deck that I had bought, and I was, I had never used the deck before, so of course I went to AI and I was like, "Hey, how do I use this deck with the ESP32?" And it just, I didn't even ask it, just output it here. Oh, here's the instructions on how to hook everything up, and I was like, "Oh, I'll give it a try." I didn't expect it to work, and I think luckily it didn't work. It sort of worked, but it was very bad. So, but then I was like, of course, great. Now I have to go read the documentation and actually know what's going on. So, but that's that thing. I'm sure here in a few years it might get it right, and then at that point I'll have no idea how it works. I won't have had to do any of the coding myself. It'll just work, and all I had to do is plug in a couple of wires, and I'll have gained absolutely zero understanding or learned nothing from the whole project. So you're absolutely right, and I think whoever's doing these studies is on the right track as well, because it's a killer. Like, even the AI assistants that they force on you in VS Code or whatever code editor you use, it's now interpreting your whole project and is wanting to add code in. Just today it was driving me crazy. I was writing a project and it kept wanting to add lines in there, and it was sometimes right, sometimes not right. But if you're a lazy coder, then you just hit tab and autofill everything, and then, well, one, your code won't work, and two, you won't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, and the killer for me is everybody's taking GPT at face value. or Grok or any of those other systems out there, right? It's not exclusive to that, but everybody picks the system they love, but nobody says, let me double check that. I mean, we're living in a day where Wikipedia is now seen as the source of knowledge, and people aren't even checking that. People don't even follow the links that are given to it saying, here's where I learned this from.
Half those links are dead.
So Jackson, Mike, Artie, I encourage you, use AI. We got to know how to use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But don't trust it.
So
I definitely, don't trust it. There's, and
Check your
even just
sources.
in what I've been playing with, I've been playing with some things in AI, and like I had a conversation about some firewall rules, and ChatGPT and I came to the conclusion that we needed to write a particular firewall rule a certain way. Okay. And then I left it for like just a day and then came back to it later, and I decided that I needed to also apply a similar rule in another place, And so I was expecting chat to give me, I tested it to see if it'd give me like the same, basically I needed the same rule, but with just some slight modifications. And it got it wrong. Like it had flipped back to like an earlier part of the discussion. It's like, no, don't you remember we decided that it had to be like this to account for that, and everything. And so it's like, it sometimes gets very forgetful because I think it's drawing on what the more popular response would be. Well, the popular response would be to set up the rule this way, but that's not for our special case. And so, it really takes someone, I think in a way it does help me learn a little bit more, because then I can understand enough to know how to call chat out on it, to say, no, that's wrong. That doesn't work in this case because we have to do it this way, And so it just reinforces my learning that I understand how this firewall works. You don't. You're just giving me ideas of what to look for and how to go about it. I'm the one who gets to decide which path we're going to take through this.
My
The analogy that I
experiences
love.
with this, my experiences with ChatGPT and all the crap that comes with it, I will try to look something up first, and I hit my three favorite search engines: DuckDuckGo, Start Page, and if I have to, Google.
Mhm.
And you
No
can't find the
bias there,
answers.
is there?
You can't find the answers half the time when you're looking for it, and you hop over to ChatGPT, you ask it the question, and it gives you the answer. And if you ask in a certain way, or if you're asking it to look online, it'll give you the links to the sites that it's looking up stuff for, which
Mhm.
I will read what it says, and then I will visit the sites to double check the information and see if the information there was valid too. So it's like writing rules in the firewall. I was looking for similar stuff for a firewall, and it spat back almost verbatim from one of the websites it crawled. So it's got some use, but it's still not at the point where I would trust it farther than I could throw it.
Well, and here's a fun little side quest for you guys. I haven't mentioned it because I want to get your raw reaction to this one. Reddit is looking at potentially suing some colleges for using their platform as an experiment test bed. They have
How so?
found that they built these schools built custom chatbots with the express purpose of mining the internet about the person to tailor a post in reply to a Reddit thread.
Okay, wait, you're gonna have to say that again.
They basically created a chatbot that cyberstalks somebody to respond to them.
So it doesn't respond to the thread in kind. It responds to Jackson response in that thread, and will call out personal identifying information from other places, either in Reddit or off the page, to see where it's going.
Okay, just so I get this right.
Yep.
I'm talking to this chatbot that some universities made. No.
No.
Okay.
You're on
I'm lost.
Reddit.
I'm on Reddit. All right.
You're on Reddit. You
Am I
say,
posting? Am
gosh,
I
that
reading?
circuit looks pretty awesome. And then the bot will jump in randomly and say, well, you're mistaken there because of dun, 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 dun. And it's pulling information from other posts that you have had on Reddit. So it can respond to you knowing you and the way you talk.
Weird.
So it's a chatbot that's basically trying to be another Reddit user.
Yes. And it doesn't go chat the whole thing. It's just peppering in responses here and there. You know, over the course of a couple of years, it's just a couple thousand posts. But the fact that it's mining that information about people is just creepy.
So it's an automated troll,
Could be.
right? I mean,
it depends on the guardrails they put on it, right?
right?
You know, I had a thought about this, guys. All AIs are roughly the same as far as like the data structure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every AI holds the entirety of every bit of information the internet has on us. That's a given, right? You can't get the models bigger because there is no more data in the world to pour into the model. So what makes these things different? It's just how it thinks about the data and the guardrails the programmers put on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How
So
they
whoever's
adjust
got
the
the better
knobs
programmer
and
wins.
everything.
The nudges that the developers are pushing it into. That's what it is. And that's what it's always been. And I think people forget that. They just think the AI is like unbiased, but the reason there's different models because there's someone behind the scenes, you know, pushing buttons and shoving the AI in a specific direction.
Yeah.
But before we get too far off, I want to comment on what my experience has been, because it does have to do with, you know, my usage of Reddit and Stack Overflow, which I'm also going to complain about briefly. Why is it that when I search for a question, the same question that someone might have the exact same question on Reddit, why is the number one answer totally irrelevant information? Why is it always so hard to find the person? Because there's usually someone who knows the answer. They respond. It's never the top comment. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb, but that's why
you'll run into this if you get into large corporations. There will be that smart person that knows the answer to your question, but you're afraid to ask him because he's just a raging butthead.
Yeah, everyone is always so rude on Reddit. They're always like, "Why would you want to do that anyway?" I'm like, "I don't care. Why? Just tell me the answer." Anyway, long story short, that has actually forced me. Like, anytime I have a technical question, I don't even bother Google search anymore because I'm just going to waste time. What I
It's
instead,
my lab experiment.
yeah,
My lab
Right.
experiment. I'm doing it my way. It's not for you to question.
Exactly. So I've resorted to doing is I don't even bother for stuff like that. I don't even bother with the Google search. I just put it into an AI and let the AI pick out from Reddit, you know, here was the actual answer to the question. And I'd say like, I don't know, 75% of the time it does pretty good, gets the right answer. And it does it a lot faster than it would if me just running through Stack Overflow and Reddit and whatever else to get the info. But that does pose a danger. And so the way that I personally have learned to use AI, where it's ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever you name it, is I view it as a manual and not even quite a manual. It's like a manual lookup. So if I have a question about something, I say, explain it to me as best as you can, chat, and then tell me where to go to find information. And that is usually the best experience for me because it's a little bit more tedious than if I just have it spit out an answer. But then by the end of it, I actually understand what's going on. And I mean, it's just an overall better experience. So my advice to anybody would be use it as if it is like an index / sometimes a manual, but be careful with it being a manual. It's a very bad manual, you know, at best. So that's
Right?
my advice. And like, and it's also, I think we live in also a different world because usually the problems that we're asking chat to solve are like programming problems or whatever. It's stuff that's like very repeatable. But once you start getting to stuff that's maybe a little bit more abstract than programming, I mean, I don't even know. I don't even have experience in that realm because I don't bother asking chat because, I mean, it could very easily come up with an opinion that's wrong, you know. But it's a little bit harder to do that with code, I think. So that's my opinion of chat. That's my opinion of Reddit. So
That's really interesting because, like, I've been using it. I take configuration files or output from a log file or something. I dump it in there. It's very good at parsing that, and I can ask it, is there any conflict in the settings? Did I make a mistake somewhere? Because it's just too much for me to look at. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and I might miss something trying to scan through it and read it, whereas a, a large language model, an AI or something, can analyze it character by character and say, oh, you accidentally set this to block, but over here you set this to open, and those are conflicting, you know, and that can bring that out very quickly. And that's very, very helpful. And it can just provide a rundown analysis, maybe against good practices that are out on the internet, you know, make recommendations. And like I said, it's still my call, like, to choose my adventure through that and say, okay, here's what I am going to do. And yeah, you suggested that, but I'm not so sure about that. You might have that wrong, kind of thing, you know?
So something funny that I tried, I had a problem, and I was just like, okay, ask ChatGPT for an answer. And then I copied that answer and went over to Gemini and said, is there anything wrong with this statement? Hitting the AIs
Pitting
against
the
each other,
AIs against each other.
pretty much.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Well, Gemini said this. You don't want to know what Alexa said about your mother.
You're the kid going between two parents that aren't talking to each other, except in this case, it's AIs.
I mean, it makes sense.
So-
It helps you track down if there is an actual problem or if there's a problem in their functionality. Because if one can find, like if you take a bit of code and toss it in one and it says, oh yeah, this looks perfectly fine. You toss it in the other and it's saying, no, there's a small error here. You check it and there's the error there. You know that one of them has some flaws in what it's reading. And I think,
All right, guys, I got a business idea. We won't be able to do this. I don't have the resource to do this. But build a site that, if you remember back in the day of Alta Vista, Mike,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was what was it, web crawler, where it would search through all the top search engines and give you the best results of all of them. Do you remember that? Build an AI system that goes to Chat and Grok, Anthropic, Gemini, and just hit them all.
An AI
And then it
aggregator?
blends that. Yeah. Blend that answer into one ultimate artificial answer.
My screen is split into 3 columns of, okay, so here's what Gemini says, here's what GPT says.
No, but it mixes it together so that
Well, mixes it
on all the
together.
brains.
Oh, wow.
The common positives, the common negatives, whatever it is, it analyzes those answers, and it doesn't rely on AI, the large language model behind the scenes. It just relies on the answers to develop the golden answer.
you ask it a question and it just comes back simply, you are an idiot.
I just wonder, though, like, in the examples that I use it, that Jackson uses it and everything, and Jackson kind of hit on this about, like, extrapolating it to problems other than, you know, concrete math, science, engineering, programming, coding, you know, things like that. Like, I don't know how I would use it, like, you know, in some other context, like relationship advice or, you know, what should I do to go make money? How can I make a whole bunch of money really fast and everything? Because there's so many diverse ways you could answer questions like that.
Make money fast by making AI videos on YouTube.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Like, I don't know how I would dump in the data to be able to get the right answers I would be looking for. Like, I would think that the AI would start just going off on some tangent about something that ultimately ends up being totally unrelated. I don't know.
Could be interesting to
Yeah.
build an AI mixture that pulls all of them together, or get all the 3D image generators, blend all the products together into a thing. So like that Santa Claus and T-Rex fighting the or racing the blonde chair in the beach. That one picture we made.
Yeah.
That was a cool picture, by the way. Blend that together with the other systems out there and see what it comes up with. Any of our viewers, if you know anybody that can code, there's a business idea for you. It'll work for about 4 weeks, and then somebody will change the rules so you can't do it anymore.
Right.
Well, speaking of changing the rules, I want to jump over to this other one. Kind of a more close to home, right to repair kind of thing. Internet of Things. We're all familiar with that. I mentioned this in the pre-show. Belkin just purchased a company that did smart home devices. And instead of letting you keep using it, they pushed a firmware update that you now have a subscription, or you don't have your smart home device.
Oh no.
So what was the model that the previous company was doing? Was it just was it an open source kind of a thing, or?
Nope. It's closed source. You buy their light switches, you buy their thermostats, you buy their command and control center. It was a full ecosystem.
But you buy it and you bought it, and you just use it.
No subscription.
No subscription.
So it smells like a lawsuit to me. Like, I mean, I think we've talked about this a lot. Unless it was specifically said beforehand, right, that you were buying a subscription to the service or whatever, it seems a little outrageous for them to then flip that switch out of nowhere.
Well, you could buy the stuff, even today, you could buy the stuff on the web. It's literally e-waste the second it shows up on your doorstep because it's not supported anymore. There's a video I'd encourage you guys to go check out. Louis Rossmann. He has a very passionate, very vulgar description of the whole situation, but it's very informative. He's been a champion of right to repair.
I think I've seen his videos before. Like,
Oh,
I've never
I'm sure you
watched
have.
one, but I know they've come up in my feed.
He's constantly arguing with YouTube over the language content. He's plain spoken, and for the most part, I believe.
Yeah,
most
I've
what he
seen.
says.
Yeah, I've seen his videos pop up on my feed before, and I've seen that he's gotten very. Like a couple of shorts that I've seen, and he's getting very heated at, like, this is ridiculous.
Yep. Well, and it's an interesting place because I love watching going to his. I love watching his videos because he goes and does the research. He doesn't just see it and spout off. He actually dives into the articles. He does the deep research on things. So it's a great source for information.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not reporting that I've done the deep research on this. I saw this a couple hours before podcast today, but I want to really talk about this because it hits what we talked about last week. The things you own, you should own, unless they sold you a subscription. It's very disingenuous to bait and switch. I mean, what an interesting time we live in where you buy a thing and in the middle of using it, within weeks or months, the rules change.
Right.
We got to get some protections out there.
It's Darth Vader in the second movie. I've changed I've altered the details of the deal. Pray I do not alter them further.
Oh, great. Now we're going to get sued by Disney for taking their intellectual property.
I don't know. I think they've got bigger issues on their hands than us.
Only if I could say it as James Earl Jones did.
And if only I could respond. Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting time we live in, guys. So, my recommendation when you're looking for Internet of Things or even just video game systems, do your homework. What's the stability of the project? Who's backing it? Where's the money coming from? You know, my last company, there was a lot of free tools that were used, and people said, "Well, you just do this website and it does this thing for us, and it's all free." And I would always jump in and really just challenge that thought process. Is there a revenue model behind that company that pays for the product that we're using? Yeah, it's cloud-based, but putting a server on the cloud is not free. The developer making that thing is not free. Like, for any of those free websites, you're looking at easily $100,000 worth of time, materials, licensing, and publishing. You know, even if the guy's doing it as a passion project, you still have to value that person's time.
Right.
So if they can't figure out how to make $100,000 off of the product, you are the product.
Well, and a lot of resources like that I've seen, it's free for personal use, but the instant that you start taking it to further your own commercial gain, that's a commercial use, and that's breaching their license. They say you need to have now a commercial license. You need to be paying me for your commercial use of my product. And that's only
Which I
fair
agree.
because
I agree.
the usage, like let's say it's an API that's out there on the web, like yeah, I can hit it once or twice a day or something and I get my free personal use out of it. But once I start putting it out there for consumer use, now it's getting, 10,000 hits a day, maybe even 50,000 hits a day from all the different users, and that requires a much bigger server with a lot more bandwidth than what free will cover.
Do
So
you ever
yeah,
see the
it's only
website?
fair.
Have you ever seen the website If This Then That?
I think I've heard of it, but no, I don't remember that I have.
So when it was first presented to me, it was free in big ways.
Mhm.
And I saw the writing on the wall, but so you could connect different web functions that if you get 10 emails in an hour, then it will do something. Or
Mhm.
if a calendar event is coming up in your Outlook, then it would text you a message or something. Or if you've got
Hmm.
home automation stuff, you turn on a light, turn off a light, go out the garage door opens and closes, then you're
Hmm.
probably not home anymore.
Wow.
So then you could set the home to like, I'm away mode. And it could do all that. And it was really, really cheap, if not free at the very beginning. And I remember watching, I saw it as more of a user grab. They're trying to rope people into using their system, and then they're going to switch it over to a subscription model and they're going to charge you because now you can't live without it.
Mhm.
And who cares if it's $2 or $3 a month? You'll pay that
Well,
Sounds
because
Same
you're
thing.
locked into convenience.
same thing is happening with a lot of these AI models. I've talked to you about this before. Gemini's doing it. I think, and I heard ChatGPT is making their services free for the summer, so that way when fall hits and everyone's back in school, then people are going to be dependent on it. So
Well, and
yeah, I
even
mean
right
that's a
now,
common thing going on in
yeah,
everywhere.
even right now with ChatGPT, like you can use for free the higher tiered model up to, I don't know if it's a specific number of requests or if it's a timed session, but once you hit that limit, then it says, okay, now we're going back down to a dumber model because you've hit your limit on the free plan. You can resume using the higher model at, it's going to be like an 8-hour wait or something like that. So at 3 a.m, you can continue using the higher model for free again.
So I found a small workaround on that. I just changed browsers.
Thanks, Hardy. Now you
Great.
just ruined it.
Yet another reason for this podcast to get demonetized.
I don't see
If
why.
we're not making money, you aren't either.
Oh, it's I love talking about this stuff with you guys. This is great. Your perspectives are great.
So shall we go over to something that is going to have a really varied reaction, I think? Grok anthropomorphizing their
Oh yeah,
their AI.
yeah. It's not just a chatbot anymore. Your chatbot has a visual form.
We would describe what it
Yeah.
looks like, but that might get us demonetized.
No, picture
What was it?
a female form in anime body.
Yes. So they introduced a companions feature on Grok, and there are
What is
technically-
Grok? Actually, I don't even know. Where is it based? Who made it? I don't even
Grok
know.
is the
Is
one
that
by
X's?
Twitter. Yeah.
Twitter/X.
Why does Twitter need an AI? To what?
Why
service?
does anybody need an AI? Really? I mean,
Like, what is it serving people up on Twitter? Like, what does it even do?
I can actually answer that one. Elon was building this to become the engine to run in all Teslas. It's coming out
he
soon.
named it Grok.
I don't know why they named it Grok. I mean, that's like the name of a caveman.
I know. Like, why do I want to be talking to a caveman in my futuristic?
You
Like,
not
apparently
know
a cave
what Grok
woman.
means. Grok means to understand. That's its definition.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Makes me think of Gonk, the Gonk droid from Star Wars.
yeah. Good images don't come to mind when I think of that, especially this new companion avatar. Already,
Yeah, there are a couple
Without
different
getting
avatars that you can
graphic.
see.
without getting graphic, tell us how bad can get.
So there
Keep
are.
it family friendly.
I will try to keep it friendly. There are essentially 3 currently that are avatars, and one of them is kind of like 2 sides of the same coin. It's the same avatar, but with a different personality. One that is unfiltered and one that is filtered and family friendly. And then you've got the one that is basically being designed to lure in lonely people that are looking for someone to chat to that will, tell them very complex chemical equations verbally while basically being eye candy. But
In a soft, romantic voice.
And there's also for additional fees, it has an NSFW mode. So, yeah, they did this with certain things in mind, clearly.
So you get less for more. I mean, more. Well, yeah.
Pretty much.
The more you pay, the more of the model you see. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What have we
Yeah.
come to as a society?
And I really do not
It's-
like this kind of this path because I've seen multiple things in the news about people that have dedicated their existence to just communicating with the AI that they've basically paid for, and it's like those films that have come out with, like Her and whatnot, and people are getting sucked in and obsessed, and they forego all real interactions with other people because they now have something that will respond the way that they want it to. It's like it's trained off of them, so it knows them, and they think they give it more credit than it should have. And the one that comes to mind is there was a kid that the chatbot literally talked him into ending himself.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm just sitting here thinking about this, I mean, I'm going to really dark places. Like how messed up it can be to prey upon people's feelings and like
Well-
social interaction. Like that's really messed up. And I'm thinking, some of these people might convince themselves that, well, there's no difference between an AI and a person. The only difference is the AI is nice to me. I mean,
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead and finish your thought because I know exactly where this is coming from.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just there is no replacement for a real human being in the real world, and I mean, as time goes on, again, AI has not been out for very long. They're only going to get better at impersonating, but it'll never be the real thing. And I think there's uh, find answers elsewhere, is what I'll say.
So I'll answer your question of like it's going to dark place. We trained it on a dark place. You can't get worse than the content that exists on the internet. Like all those dark things are there if you know where to look. And since we trained these systems on everything, that's in there. So you could coax it out through the right prompts. Let's don't practice that, guys. But if you've got the system trained on the darkest and the brightest ideas, it's a mix of everything. You can work yourself that direction. Now, I heard somebody explain the stimulus that comes off these conversations. It's intellectual. I don't want to say the word the P word. I want to say adult materials. It's intellectual stimulation at that level. So you're not getting what you should. Jackson, you're absolutely right. You're getting somebody on the other side of that conversation that has no free will. You're getting what you want. You have full mind control over that other voice that's talking back to you. If you don't like it, you tell it stop it, and it does.
Well, and that's what I was thinking too, is that, you know, you look at one person forms a relationship with this AI, but what that AI has done is it has molded and changed itself to be compatible in the way that that user wants it. You know, when you have an actual human being, you have to, if you want to be friends, if I want to be friends with Jackson, I have to accept Jackson for who he is. There may be things that he is not perfect at. There may be things he's really good at, but Jackson's not going to change himself because of me. Jackson's going to be Jackson. And we can be friends as long as I accept who Jackson is, right? You got Grok. Let's say it's Grok. Well, Grok to me is going to be a different person than Grok to you, and Grok to a lot of these other people. And that's why I find it interesting when you say that Grok has picked an avatar, an appearance, a form to appear as, because who's to say that that's not what Grok I want Grok to be. I want Grok to be, you know, a guy, or I want Grok to be overweight, or I want Grok to be, you know, some other thing other than what most other people are thinking of. And so I think I kind of wonder how it's going to play out. Like, why did Grok choose this instead of some kind of an average in the middle kind of appearance? You know what I'm saying?
It's eye candy. That's the
And
only
it's eye
reason
candy.
you
It's
have three
because
right
that's
now.
what we've. Yeah, that's right. It's because it's what we fed into the internet. And if we look at search results,
right now it's only 3. You have your choice of avatar. It's only 3 avatars.
Yeah, but like, it's what has been determined to be what the most popular on the internet. Like, you know, like in a rating, like if I take appearances and looks and blonde hair, brunette hair, eye color, etc., this is a ranking of what's preferred across the world, or whatever it is. You know, 98% prefer this and only 75% prefer this, so I'm going to go with the 98%, you know. But that's not going to satisfy everybody. Everybody's going to want to take that and mold that AI into what they want.
Did you ever play Black and White?
I'm not.
Artie?
I know the term, but
I'm the one that gave you that game. Still want it back. Black and White is a
the shots are fired there, guys. That's awesome.
No, I know it's gone. So Black and White was a game. It was like Populous or a civilization building game, except that you basically had the ability to change how your minion looks. You've got this like divine being that's on the ground, and if you treat it
Mhm.
well, it becomes angelic. If you treat it poorly, it becomes more demonic. So,
It's like it's a virtual pet,
yes,
basically.
virtual pet
Okay.
combined with essentially a god simulator.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you're walking around this environment like Warcraft, like the original Warcraft,
Mhm.
and you're interfacing with the world, and you're interfacing with your pet, and how you treat your pet turns into its future behaviors. And so if you treat it nice, it's nice. A friend of mine just wanted to see how bad it could get. He went full psychopath, and this creature grew and got more like evil looking, had horns, had spikes coming out of its head, had gnarled teeth, had red eyes, and it would just walk across to the village, pick people up and huck them. Like,
Oh
it
dear.
was just cruel to everybody around it because he was cruel to it. And this is like 2 decades before AI. Wonder what we're
Oh
doing to these
goodness.
This is
models.
also hilarious. This is like the same graphics engine that all of the bowling alleys use. This looks incredible. So
It's a fun game.
Maybe we can give it a comeback.
I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun until you lose it. And your brother never let you forget it.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Well, I think we're at the bottom of the hour, guys.
Yep.
I want to keep talking, but I think we got to let our viewers go back to their regularly scheduled programs. Well, until next week, everybody. It's been fun. It's been real. And adventurers say it's been real fun. Anyway, got a chuckle out of Jackson there. Until next time, I'm John.
I'm really Mike.
I'm not an AI generation of Jackson.
I'm gonna hydrate to prove that I'm not an AI.
Watering your computer is the best way to keep it from growing too big.
Yeah.
We'll catch you all next time.